Today on the call, I have JamesDolbear, and he is the president of the Appliance association called United Servicers Association. James, welcome to the call.
Nice to meet you. Glad to have you.
James, what brought you to trying out local SEO services?
There's a lot of people out there that talk about different marketing ideas in terms of internet and SEO and all that, and you don't really get from the bigger operations that are always, everybody's talking about selling SEO, and they make unrealistic promises about what they can do, what they can deliver, and methodologies that are oftentimes just older and dated. I'm not really an IT person myself. I'm not a computer guy. But being in the business and running my own operations and being exposed to it on multiple different levels from different businesses that I'm involved in addition to hearing from membership, there's a lot of promises made by big people, and they can't deliver. And so I've also discovered through the years that a lot of these people don't know what the heck they're talking about. They're more salespeople than they are techies. I'm not really an IT guy myself. I don't consider myself a programmer. I wouldn't be able to do that. But much like, I would say, operating a vehicle, or I'm a private pilot too. So I know how to fly, but I'm not a mechanic. But I do know how to identify problems with the aircraft. Driving 35,000 to 40,000 miles a year on the road, I do know how to identify problems with the vehicle. I can hear sounds in it and get it to the mechanic so that he can deal with it. That doesn't make me a mechanic. Similarly, I would associate the same kind of wisdom with the IT world. I've been able to discern who knows what they're talking about, who doesn't, who's giving me realistic options and has a good track record in terms of being able to accomplish what they're saying. And other people that just have methodologies that are just off the rails. And then others, more than half, are just selling things. These are just salespeople, mass marketing. So you have people, like GoDaddy and these other things where they're just selling SEO, not even understanding what they're talking about and how you have to go about it. So set realistic goals and accomplish those goals. And you just have to be patient with it. There's a lot of people that will guarantee ranks, and they'll guarantee that it'll happen like right away. And it doesn't happen in this world. In the internet world, with the algorithms changing literally daily, between the Yahoo and Google and them fighting themselves, those new algorithms roll through, it changes the landscape continuously. So to work through that, you can actually launch a project, and it can take 3 to 6 months before you're actually seeing concrete results. Now, after that happens, the results are pretty dramatic. But the indexing and all that takes time. And people that really know what they're talking about will be able to tell you, yes, we can do certain things, but it will take time. There's nothing that's going to happen instantaneously. And that's part of the problem. And one of the red flags for me is when I'm talking to internet marketing people, and they say that they can deliver things, in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, when I know perfectly well that cannot happen. That's when you know there's a sales pitch coming. So that's just a benefit to working with good people. Being in the business world for over 40 years, you're able to interact with a lot of different people. Good people, bad people, competent people, incompetent people. And again, you start to learn how to tell the difference between the two. When you're able to work with really competent people that genuinely understand what they're doing, and they're good people at the same time, it's just a wonderful thing to happen. It's like having customers and clients that so wonderful to work with, they actually become friends of yours. It's just fantastic. So that's just another bonus that I have found.
Mm-hmm. Has this service changed your business or any of the people who are part of the association?
It's helped a lot, absolutely. And when they're able to properly track what is happening and the results of what's going on, they're able to see that it's effective.
Do you have any idea how these SEO services have compared to the other forms of advertising?
Yeah, the cost in the IT marketing is much lower than print and much lower than radio. And I would say radio for our industry is not effective at all. Now, having said that, it's almost an inverse relationship to the size of the market. The larger the market, the lower the return for TV and radio. The smaller the market, then it actually starts to work. There's a certain flip that can occur. If you are in a city like, say, Chicago or Los Angeles or New York, You've got, there's hundreds of people in the business. There's millions of consumers. And we're talking about repairing a washing machine, for example, which is entirely different than marketing for lunch. Everybody is going to have coffee. Everybody's going to have lunch or breakfast or dinner. So you're marketing to daily needs, daily requirements that are up for competitive behavior on a daily basis. You only need your washer repaired when it's broken. So marketing on a TV and radio campaign constantly to a certain market that is going to need your services is very narrow. So, and at the same time, because you're in larger markets like Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, your media expenditures are at the top of the market. Those are top markets. So it's going to be the most pricey that you could possibly get. Print, again, print like Yellow Pages is completely ineffective. The Yellow Pages died in our industry 10 years ago and didn't have sense enough to lie down. And most of the people that are still using it haven't tracked it far enough to look at their return on investment. Oftentimes, if they're able to trace their Yellow Page customers to what their Yellow Page expenditures were, they'll find, if they're lucky, they're at a break even. So they're incurring a $10,000 bill and generating $10,000 in sales at best.
About how long do you think it took you to start getting return on your investment?
It takes a good, I'd say 3 months to 6 months to build up and index and start showing results. So you have to, it's like with anything, you have to, it's like planting seeds and letting them bloom and blossom. So it takes time. And the problem that people have is they become impatient with it, and then they think that they want a quicker return and that it could happen overnight. It cannot happen overnight with the internet. It just can't. And in fact, in many ways, 10 years ago, it would happen much quicker than it does now. The way the algorithms are structured, the organic level of indexing is a much slower process and a much natural process. And it's almost forced by Google, in my thinking, they're slowing it down intentionally to ensure that it's actually organic, which means it's happening naturally. So the point that I'm making is that can be very frustrating for somebody who's doing IT advertising and working with an SEO operation, and they're expecting results from an IT marketer that you cannot deliver, cannot control. There's nothing that they can do about it. It's just how it is. So when somebody is being truthful with you in IT marketing and they're telling you, yes, it's going to take 3 to 6 months to get this happening, you need to start working on it now, they are telling you the truth. They're not, making you envision artificial quotes, in the air, setting expectations for the client. Yes, they are, but they're also telling you the truth. Somebody that thinks that they can do it in a month or 3 weeks, they're not telling you the truth.
Well, thanks, James. That makes a lot of sense, and I think it explains to people why things don't happen in 1 week. But as you're saying, that use the service, let it do what it's going to do, let it take its life cycle and grow, then it's definitely worthwhile.
Absolutely. No question about it. It's the lowest expenditure and the highest return just about of any media format that you can have.
Any final thoughts for anyone who's considering using the local SEO?
No, I would have no hesitation whatsoever. They do a great job. They're great to work with, and they're genuinely good people. There'd be no hesitation whatsoever.
Thank you, James. I really appreciate everything, and thank you for sharing that with us today.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad to do it.